Hello and welcome to Rootstock, the 100% Salesforce native ERP that's purpose-built for manufacturers and distributors. In this video, I'll be walking us through production execution and shop floor controls. All manufacturing activity within Rootstock is going to be executed against a manufacturing work order. I can view a list of all of my open work orders directly from my dashboard, and then I can drill into the work order to understand all of the material and operational requirements in order to complete the work order. In other videos, you may have seen us run MRP and perform other inventory planning functions to make sure that material is available on hand in order to issue to the work order. So in this case, now that we have inventory available, we can start issuing it into WIP. We could either do that by scanning items in one by one, or we could do a mass work order issue and select all the items as well as any underlying lots or serial numbers and issue those materials against the work order. This is a financial posting transaction that's going to start accruing our manufacturing WIP work in process. And I can see that WIP immediately added to the work order. So now we can see we've just added $19,000 worth of material cost to the work order. And if I go back to my dashboard, we can look at real-time reports and analytics to understand what's the total manufacturing WIP across all work orders across the company. And I can see now that $19,000 with this work order is now visible from my dashboard. Now, continuing along with building out WIP, we also have labor and machine time that can be booked against that work order. All of our standards are going to be predefined through the routing master. So that's going to say for the two expected operations for this work order, we're going to expect X number of labor hours and Y number of machine hours. These are going to serve as their standards that are going to ultimately drive back-end variance reporting. So now that we have our standards defined, let's actually book time against this work order. I can use a mobile interface. I can quickly scan or select the item that I'm either booking labor or machine time against. I can select the work order that I'm working on and the operation specifically that I can either clock into and then clock out of. I can enter my time in and time out and automatically calculate my hours, or I can manually enter my hours. In this case, I'm going to enter hours that are more than what was expected for this operation. If we expected 4.25 hours, let's say this actually took us an extra hour. And in the background, I'll also backflush my machine hours, meaning that I'm going to take my standard hours of machine, since I'm not directly integrating with machines, I just want to cost what's expected into this work order. So this single step is now going to take my actual labor time and backflush machine time, and then cost that into my work order. We can see, just like the materials, this is going to now build our WIP. That $19,000 that we originally had in WIP for materials has now increased to $21,000. And we can start seeing some variance reporting either from the work order itself, where we can see on an operation by operation basis what was our standards, our actuals, how does that translate to a variance in terms of cost? And in this case, because we backflush machine hours, we can see a 1-to-1 zero variance for our machine cost. So we get real-time visibility into the work order variance. And then similar to what we saw with our dashboards, we can also look across all of our work centers, all of the work orders and operations where there's either positive or negative variance, so that we can look at this to get a better understanding as far as what are the bottlenecks in production, and perhaps where do we need to adjust our routings moving forward to help improve production scheduling moving forward. And then finally, if we go back to our work order, we can see a full cost detail for this manufactured item, starting with what are the costs of the materials that we're procuring. If there's any outsourced or contract manufacturing, what are those value-added service charges? What's the cost of freight, tariffs, and other landed costs that we're incurring as a business to receive that into the warehouse, as well as all of the labor machine costs that are being issued against the work order for production, which is going to bring us a total cost for that top level finished good. And this is what's giving us fine accuracy into our actual costs, and it's going to tell us how profitable and what's our actual margins with our customers. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any other questions, please feel free to pass that to your account executive. Thank you.